On World News Tonight this Wednesday, the Attorney General says the law is clear. Elian Gonzalez's father should decide what happens to the boy. Millions of children being taught by unqualified teachers, an annual report. Airlifting 350 vehicles and 1,500 people across an entire country. The possibility of terrorism made it a good idea. We'll take a closer look at the changing role of grandparents tonight. And why is the FAA calling in the Marines to run air traffic control at the Palm Springs Airport?
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. The federal government has spoken today and forcefully on the future of Cuba's most famous child. It is a daily business now tracking the political, highly charged struggle for the child's future. Today, another congressman trying to skirt the current law wants to make the boy a permanent resident alien. The Attorney General, however, is standing firm. Here's ABC's Aaron Brown.
In language even a 6-year-old might understand, the Justice Department made clear today what the law says about who controls the fate of Elian Gonzalez. Attorney General Janet Reno, in a letter to the Miami lawyers representing his relatives, said Elian's father has the sole authority to speak for his son on immigration matters. As for this decision by this Florida state court judge 2 days ago,
the minor child, Elian Gonzalez, shall not be removed from this jurisdiction.
Ms. Reno wrote, it has no force or effect where immigration laws are concerned. The law, which specifically bars state courts from intervening, was designed to avoid exactly this kind of case.
The child has a family, it is his father, and it is the father who should be given the chance to be reunited with his child, to raise his child, and to speak for his child.
The principle of parental rights is applied routinely by the Immigration Service every day. 1,218 times last year, unaccompanied minors were sent back to their parents, generally with no investigation into their fitness as parents, let alone their politics. What makes Elian's case different from the other 1,200 is Cuba and the powerful Cuban exile community in South Florida.
This child is a poster child. This has become a cause célèbre on both sides of the Straits of Florida.
The Rights of the Child Treaty, signed by both the United States and Cuba, is clear. Regardless of politics, regardless of economics, regardless of anything short of clear evidence of persecution, a child belongs with his parent. That's the law. Aaron Brown, ABC News, New York.
The Attorney General did say today that the Immigration Service will not attempt to enforce its original deadline of this Friday. We'll keep up with it. One of the most respected annual polls on education came out today. It is done every year by Education Week magazine, and this year it gives the nation's public schools a C and says that years of talk about improving teacher quality have been mostly talk. Here's ABC's Barry Sarah.
Get up the stairs. Do you have to move a distance?
Most states test teachers for basic skills and require that they have knowledge of the subjects they teach. But the report says states are under such pressure to cope with teacher shortages that nearly all of them have created loopholes.
Most states that require tests also crack open a back door to the classroom by waiving the requirement when a qualified candidate can't be found.
That means hiring uncertified or unlicensed teachers. In California alone, 29,000 people are teaching with emergency permits.
Millions of children around the country are sitting down in classrooms in front of a person who does not meet what the state says is the minimum basic requirement they need to be in a classroom.
Part of the problem is that qualified teachers are leaving in droves. 1 out of every 5 quits within 3 years. One of the main reasons is low pay. The new report says young teachers earn an average of nearly $8,000 less than other comparable college graduates. And over the years, the gap widens, with teachers earning about $23,000 a year less. Some states are beginning to address that problem with bonuses and financial aid. In California, for example, Governor Gray Davis has proposed generous incentives for teachers, including help with home loans.
To borrow a phrase from Uncle Sam, I intend to say to young people, I want you to be a teacher.
The authors of today's study point to Connecticut as the state doing the best job of attracting and retaining qualified teachers. Among the benefits, average pay of more than $51,000. and a mentor program in which new teachers like Stephen Lynch get guidance from more experienced teachers.
It allows me to become better at what I do.
But across the country, the message is most states are willing to compromise their standards to put a teacher in every classroom, even if that teacher is not qualified. Barry Seraphin, ABC News, Washington.
In Washington today, the Supreme Court has broadened the powers of police to sometimes stop people and question them because they fled at the sight of an officer. A lower court had decided that doing so violates a person's civil rights. And the lower court decision got a lot of attention because some people argue that in some cases, the police are threatening enough to justify flight. Here's ABC's Jackie Judd.
The case began in this Chicago neighborhood when William Wardlow, a convicted felon, spotted several police cruisers. He fled. The police gave chase, searched Wardlow, and discovered he was carrying an illegal gun.
They did good police work in arresting this man.
The Illinois Supreme Court, in a controversial ruling, disagreed. It ruled unanimously that Wardlow's decision to run was not in itself a suspicious act that would give police grounds to search him. But by a 5-4 vote, the Supreme Court reversed that. Chief Justice Rehnquist described Wardlow's headlong flight as the consummate act of evasion that did give police the reasonable suspicion they needed. The police say this will make their jobs easier.
It means that they're not going to have to worry as much. They still have to do what they had to do before, which is look at the totality of the circumstances.
The court's minority and civil liberties groups say the ruling ignores what life is like in violent neighborhoods.
The notion that people only flee from policemen when there are suspicious circumstances is simply at odds with the reality of most big cities today in America.
People flee, the dissenters say, out of the fear of authorities or that the appearance of police means a dangerous crime has occurred. Justice Stevens wrote these considerations can lead to an innocent and understandable desire to quit the vicinity with all speed. The majority conceded that this ruling could lead to innocent people being stopped and searched, but called it a minimal intrusion within the boundaries of the Constitution. Jackie Judd, ABC News, Washington.
The Supreme Court also ruled today that Congress does have the power to prevent states from selling personal information from people's driver's licenses. South Carolina had challenged a federal law preventing it. On the money tonight, Wall Street first. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was up 40 points today to close at 11,551. On the NASDAQ, stocks were down 71 points. Shares of the internet portal Yahoo were down 10% today. Yesterday, Yahoo said its profits quadrupled during the last quarter, but today the company warned it will not be able to sustain the growth. The government awarded IBM more than 2,700 patents last year, and that's a record. Many of the patents were for technology and software used on the internet. And two more car companies which think they cannot afford not to be selling trucks and sport utility vehicles, Porsche and Acura, are now getting into the red-hot market for SUVs. When World News Tonight continues, are terrorists really lying in wait for a major sporting event in the African desert? And the Supreme Court takes up the case of grandparents. So will we.
The new Blue's Clues Edition Gateway Astro PC was made to hold the kids' interest. It's got 5 software titles, and it's an internet-ready PC to keep them learning. It's $899 with an Intel Celeron processor. Grown-ups, call 1-800-GATEWAY.
Yoo-hoo! Ready?
Ready for a better way to get my fiber.
Use your concentration.
New Philips fiber caps don't contain sweeteners like most powders. They're concentrated, so they're just as effective as Metamucil. New Philips fiber caps, effective fiber therapy without the powder.
When it comes to traditional luxury, it's anything but more of the same. Introducing the all-new 2000 Bonneville. When supercharged, it's one of the world's most powerful sports sedans. More luxury. More attitude. The all-new 2000 Bonneville. Pontiac.
A significant discovery in eye health may be lutein, a nutrient found in these healthy foods. Now Centrum has the only leading multivitamins with lutein to help maintain your precious sight. Centrum Silver, now more complete with lutein.
You know, people still ask me about the crash. I'm tired of talking about the crash. I mean, first of all, it wasn't even really a crash. 1929. That was a crash.
Yeah, that was bad.
Maybe it was more like a market correction, typically defined by like 10, 20% drop in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which we consider the economic factors that are affecting the current risk premiums.
When we created a smarter kind of investment firm,
I guess it's not that surprising.
we created a smarter kind of investor. What do you know about expense ratios?
An expense ratio is a percentage.
Overseas today, there was a major development in one of the world's most widely followed sporting events, the annual car rally from Dakar in Senegal to Cairo in Egypt. It is very demanding, more of an endurance test than a race. The drivers go through some terrible conditions, and so when the possibility of terrorists became an issue, the race organizers had to come up with an ingenious plan. They did. Here's ABC's Sheila McVicker.
The race began last Thursday. More than 300 cars, trucks, and motorcycles crossing the continent, about 7,000 miles. This is always a colorful event, but it is also often dangerous. Bandits have attacked and more than 36 people have died in crashes. But this year, American and French intelligence officials received what they say is a credible threat of something worse, that a heavily armed Algerian terror group planned to attack the rally as it crossed the Niger desert. We had information from the French government and from the Americans, says race organizer Jean-Claude Killy. We had no choice. The race was stopped before it reached the desert. Organizers decided the 5-day crossing was an unacceptable risk. It seemed their only choice was to abandon the race and the millions of dollars in sponsorships until they came up with an idea. Fly in 3 of the world's largest cargo planes, Russian-built Antonovs, pick up every one of the 300 vehicles and 1,500 people, and cross Niger by air. A 1,000-mile airlift and an end run around an apparent threat. It's a bizarre story, not least because the planes will carry the racers to Libya, which in the past has been accused of exporting terrorism. These days, Libya is considered safe. The organizers say the race will go on next Tuesday. Sheila McVicker, ABC News, London.
The United States is rapidly becoming the only major country which prohibits gays and lesbians from serving openly in the military. Today, the British have changed their policy to one of complete openness. 4 British servicemen dismissed because they were gay took their case to the European Human Rights Court, and they won. And so the British government changed the policy. The Vatican said today that Pope John Paul II, already the most traveled pope in history, will go to the Holy Land as planned in March. He will visit Jewish, Christian, and Muslim holy places in Jordan, Palestinian territory, and Israel. The Atlanta Braves pitcher John Rocker is trying to make up for the disparaging remarks he made recently about gays and foreigners, among others. The baseball commissioner ordered him to undergo psychological testing. In an interview today with ESPN for SportsCenter tonight, Rocker says his true sentiments were misrepresented.
You hit 1 home run in the big leagues, it doesn't make you a home run hitter, obviously. And you make one offhanded comment like this without thinking, you just blurt it out, and in front of a reporter you blurt it out, you can't get it back. To make one comment like this doesn't make you a racist.
Be more about Rocker on 2020 this evening. By the way, we say again there is a study on everything being done somewhere. British and Polish researchers have apparently found that tall men are more likely to have children. They looked at 2,300 Polish men and found that bachelors and men without children were, on average, more than an inch shorter than men who had at least 1 child. Something about the female preference for taller men. They said it, we didn't. Do grandparents have a constitutional right to see their grandchildren? We'll take that up next.
World News Tonight with Peter Jennings and a closer look. Brought to you by Aflac. Without it, no insurance is complete.
Well, when I got hurt and missed work, thought I had supplemental insurance.
Supplemental insurance? What's that?
Aflac. Well, even best insurance doesn't give you cash to cover things like lost pay, other expenses. This does.
What does?
Aflac. Shouldn't ask about it at work.
Really? And what's it called?
Aflac!
Aflac. Without it, no insurance is complete.
Aflac.
Nature made me a person of many parts. Nature made me determined to make all of them last. And thankfully, to help, there are premium quality nature-made vitamins and herbs, like vitamin C, which research shows can help keep my immune system strong. There's no stopping me, because nature made me.
Cold, dry air makes it worse. So can days like these. That's scalp stress itch, and Scalpicin stops it. Clean, unscented, medicated to stop scalp stress itch.
Fast.
Scalpicin stops scalp stress itch.
Great meal. Uh-oh, gas pressure. What now? What else? Gas-X, with the most powerful medicine for fast relief. Nothing works faster.
Hey, want to go for ice cream?
Gas-X, the power to fight gas fast. That's a lot of rubber bands.
I'm on it. An order has been placed, and Staples is there to deliver everything you need at guaranteed low prices. And whether you're a big company, a medium-sized company, or a small company, Staples will deliver overnight, right to you.
Here are your rubber bands.
Thanks. We needed those.
Here's a catalog for you.
Need office products delivered overnight? Yeah, we've got that. Call 1-800-STAPLES.
We're going to take a closer look at grandparents tonight. The Supreme Court heard arguments today about whether grandparents have the right to see their grandchildren, even when the child's parents object. Currently, all 50 states have laws which allow grandparents to seek visitation if it is denied. This raises some fundamental questions. What is the definition of a family? When does the state have a right to interfere in a parent's decision about their child? And who should determine what is in the best interest of a child? First, ABC's Bob Woodruff on the case in front of the court today.
When Brad Troxell died 7 years ago, he left behind two young daughters who had a close relationship with Brad's parents, Jennifer and Gary Troxell. Shortly after his death, the girl's mother, Tommy, tried to limit the amount of time the girls spent with the Troxells. The grandparents sued, and a Washington state court granted them visitation rights.
I think it's important that grandparents have a relationship with their grandchildren. Grandparents have a lot of love and other things to offer.
The Troxells used a Washington state law that allowed any third party, even a non-relative, to be granted visitation rights if it is in the best interests of the child.
I think it just opens the door for anybody and everybody in this country to be attacked if you have children.
At the Supreme Court today, most of the justices questioned whether the Washington law violates the constitutional right of parents to choose who their children visit. Justice O'Connor, are you saying that any person at any time can march into court and demand visitation? Justice Scalia, it would be in the best interest of many children to take them away from their parents and give them to someone else, but the parents have rights.
As a society, we believe that parents should make decisions such as this, absent a showing that the children are being harmed.
Still, children's advocates say grandparents and other caregivers should not be cut off simply because a parent demands it.
Really worry about that because it smacks of treating children as though they were property and that they belong to their parents and that the parents can make any decision with respect to children.
If the court decides that the Washington law is unconstitutional, it could affect similar laws in all 50 states, where grandparents have at least some right to sue for visitation. Bob Woodruff, ABC News, Washington.
We have been reporting for years about the decline of the traditional American family. A recent survey by the American Association of Retired Persons, which lobbies in favor of grandparents' rights, finds that they are increasingly playing a larger role in the lives of their grandchildren. Here's ABC's Judy Muller.
Once a week, Lou and Arlene Bucagnani drive an hour from their home to see their 6-year-old grandson play basketball.
Beautiful! Beautiful!
While their son and his wife are busy with the team, Lou and Arlene babysit on the sidelines.
You gonna give me a kiss?
It's a win-win for everyone.
It's like hit and run.
All right!
You know, we can walk in, grab them, spoil them, give them back, and split. And I love that.
Having grandparents who come out and play with them and spend quality time with them and who show them love and support, it means a great deal.
The Bucagnanis are not unique. An AARP survey of grandparents over 50 shows that 85% had talked to their grandchildren in the last month, and 82% had seen them. 1/3 live within an hour's drive. Given all the talk about splintered families living far apart, the findings came as a surprise.
There are tremendous bonds across generations, which I think flies in the face of the conventional wisdom about the breakdown in family structures.
Other findings? Grandparents spend an average of $489 a year on their grandchildren, and most see their role as that of good friend. But 3% have taken on the role of parent. Grandparents who are primary caregivers are growing in number.
There are about 1.5 million children who are being raised by their grandparents today.
Fran Severini, for example, who raised 6 children of her own. When her daughter passed away, her granddaughter came to live with her.
I thought I'd be alone and, have my freedom, but there were other plans in store for me.
If she wasn't there for me, I don't know where I would be today. So, all because of her. I love my grandma.
But whether full-time or part-time, the role of grandparent appears to be thriving, an unabashed opportunity for mutual admiration.
You did a great job.
Judy Muller, ABC News, Los Angeles.
You can weigh in on this discussion about redefining the family at our website, abcnews.com. And when we come back, a famous resort in California. Why are they sending in the Marines?
When we asked some denture wearers why they don't use an adhesive, they didn't have a lot to say.
Don't need it.
My dentures fit fine. No problems here.
But after we gave them Fix-A-Dent, they just couldn't say enough.
Amazing, the difference. It's a great new feeling of security.
Comfort.
Confidence.
I just plain forget I have them.
That's because Fix-A-Dent adjusts to the unique contours of your dentures and gums, forming a thin, powerful seal for a better hold than you ever thought possible.
I could just kick myself for not doing this sooner.
Find out for yourself what it feels like to Fix-A-Dent and forget it.
My doctor said occasional personal dryness is natural. She recommended KY. I chose new KY Silk E. Nothing feels more natural.
New KY Silk E with vitamin E from the #1 doctor-recommended brand.
We interrupt this program for an important news brief. MCI Now offers 5 cents a minute every day, so you can call every evening and all weekend long. Bugs?
This is big news.
Right, Bugs. Just 5 cents. Mere change.
Change is good.
To sign up, just punch in 1-800 every day.
If I punch? Ow. Man, what a ham.
Call 1-800 every day to join.
We ate Quaker oatmeal for 30 days, and it helped lower our cholesterol 17 points. You can do it too. Just call this number, and they'll send you the information you need to get started.
It's good to know some things still work. Quaker oatmeal warms your heart and soul.
You can rationalize it all you want, but eventually you're gonna get caught.
There's a tan minivan in the parking lot with its lights on. Whoever owns the tan minivan, your lights are on.
Okay, you're busted. It's time to check out the redesigned Mitsubishi Montero Sport. It's only the family car when the family's in it.
It hurts so bad. That burning sensation. I just wanted it to be over with fast. So I saw my doctor. My doctor said fast-acting Mylanta liquid. He said heartburn and acid indigestion may start in your stomach, but where it hurts is all through here. And that's where fast-acting Mylanta liquid works fast on heartburn. Soothing on contact, all down through here where you want help fast. Yeah, my doctor's pretty smart. My doctor said Mylanta.
Have you tried these yet? Specialized blends from one a day. Not just herbs. Herbs, vitamins, and minerals for things like memory. Have you seen my keys? Where are the keys? 83. And energy. Excuse me. Excuse me. Even tension and mood. Help your body help itself with one-a-day specialized blends. They're just what you need to feel your best.
Tonight, the perfect husband until he stabbed his wife 44 times and his defense, sleepwalking. Connie Chung takes you inside the minds of the jurors.
You were believing him.
I was believing him.
Watch as the stunning verdict comes down. 2020 tonight.
Coming up next on Channel 2 News, when snow hits the streets, they spring into action. We'll go behind the scenes of ODOT's command center. And the controversy over a Cuban boy inspires a song from elementary kids. I'm Steve Dunn. News of the Northwest is next.
Just a brief review of our main story today. The U.S. government spoke very clearly today about the future of the Cuban child Elian Gonzalez. The Attorney General, Janet Reno, says that Elian's Cuban father has the sole authority to speak for his son on immigration matters, not his American relatives, who are making such a fuss about keeping him here. Finally, this evening, we're going to go to Palm Springs in California. It used to be just the hot springs when the Spanish came upon it in the 1770s, but now it's an opulent oasis, and all sorts of events are held there. It's no wonder that 2 years ago, the Federal Aviation Administration agreed to upgrade Palm Springs' air traffic control system. If only it were that easy. Here's ABC's Lisa Stark.
Today at the Palm Springs International Airport, they're bringing planes in the old-fashioned way. Controllers are using their eyes and binoculars, not radar, to guide planes to the ground.
Which has put us in the position of working 21st century traffic with a 1930s system and equipment.
It's been this way for nearly a month, ever since the FAA shut down the radar system here because it was unreliable. Planes kept disappearing off radar screens.
This new radar system cost $8 million, but repeated attempts to fix it have failed. And the FAA and controllers agreed the only answer was to shut it down.
So right now it is one plane in at a time, one plane out. Everyone else is circling, waiting for their turn. And next week, America's elite golfers and their fans will be flying in for the Bob Hope PGA Classic. So what is the FAA doing to handle the increased air traffic? They're calling in the Marines. Late today, Marines from Marine Corps Air Station Miramar in San Diego arrived at the airport to set up a portable radar unit.
We will, in fact, have that unit operational within a couple of days. That will give us radar coverage throughout the valley area.
The system used to track fighters in Desert Storm will now be handling Lear jets and passenger planes in the California desert.
It's absolutely stunning. And this is symbolic of what's happening in America today with our aviation system.
The military radar will remain until the end of March, while the FAA works to upgrade its own radar. Lisa Stark, ABC News, Washington.
That's our report on World News Tonight. Don't forget 2020 and Nightline later on this evening. I'm Peter Jennings. Hope you have a good evening. Good night.
From ABC News tonight, his inflammatory remarks has many branding him a racist. But how does he see himself? Now, John Rocker in his own words tonight on 2020 and tomorrow on Good Morning America and on World News Tonight. Should the rice you eat be genetically altered to add vitamins? Or should science stop messing with nature? Watch World News Tonight. This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
Channel